and this weekend made me proud. I'm proud of our league. All right, Cowherd, there's a lot to unpack. We got some time here. I just want to start. I got to be honest. I didn't like the response. I think that President Trump has demonstrated over the last decade he is a troll, and he will troll anybody. He's gone after John McCain. He's gone after President Obama. He's gone after Hillary Clinton, Mika Brzezinski, Megyn Kelly, Ariana Huffington. He has said some of the cruelest stuff about other public figures of any person I know. He is 1,000% on brand, hasn't surprised anybody. What did we think 70-year-old, abrasive, abusive, disruptive Donald Trump thought about NFL players kneeling during the national anthem? His brand is attached to an old school patriotism and on your sleeve patriotism. This is the only thing I thought he thought. He's not being racist in this regard because he attacks and trolls everybody. I thought the response was over the top. We've been trolled and everybody took the bait. And now something that allegedly months ago or a year ago was allegedly about police brutality and then turned into a conversation about disrespecting the flag and Colin Kaepernick's career is now a big conversation about Donald Trump.
Well, I think most people thought he would segue into more of a mature leader. Even during his campaign, there was a thought that, okay, he'll segue. And then immediately you had the CIA and the FBI was, ho, slow down, stop talking, take Twitter away. He's a troll. You would think our president could do better. This is, like you said, what he is. I was proud of the league. I can only tell you how I feel. Is I love sports. Nobody's going to ever make me not watch football or hate football. I love how people reacted. I think it's difficult. I think depending on your emotional capacity and, you know, these are young men, coaches, owners, alignments with politics. Some are apolitical. A lot of people don't like to talk politics. You get dragged into it. But my two takeaways are I thought Trump would segue into a more presidential, that's what they call it, being presidential. It's gotten worse. And I was proud of the league. I would never myself take a knee at a game. But the reason I love sports, and I think sports has been ahead of the curve on racial relations, the reason I love sports, I like the culture of teamwork. I like helping up an opponent. I like high fives. I like crying during games. I went to a college game with you this weekend. I love the culture of American sports, which is we're all in. We're going to wear this uniform and we're all in. I love it. And I think Trump, for some reason, wanted to divide that.
I think Trump is a television critic. And your expectation that he was somehow going to change is like expecting me not to hit the candy dish when the show's over. I am what I am.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is what he is. And I love the culture of sports as well. And it's always been about putting your differences aside and coming together for one goal. Guys,
that's what I saw during games.
I think we're looking at a league, to me, that has peaked, a divisiveness, and a conversation has been injected into this league that's going to turn off its base. And so this is off brand. It's off the television brand. And I'm not sure if the NFL is ever going to fully recover.
No, I think the NFL will recover from this because this really isn't about the NFL. You said Trump is who he is, but you have to change. Just like Magic Johnson becoming a front office executive can't do the same thing Magic the player and Magic the ex-player could do. You have to conduct yourself differently. This started with, police brutality and trying to find a way to make certain that you brought light to that. This, and it was about a group of citizens whose rights weren't being acknowledged or enforced. And Trump stood up in front of everyone and said, I think it's okay to not enforce rights that people have. That's what he basically stood up and said. And you saw a reaction from the owners. And this isn't about the flag. This isn't about police brutality. It's not about the flag or the game or Trump trolling. This is about a group of people, even that 1%, the owners, they stood up and said, wait a minute, you basically said fire someone for exercising a right. At the highest office in the land, you can't do that. And I'm glad that the owners and the league reacted the way they did.
Oh, I agree with all three of you. at the risk of, well, hopefully without echoing just what you say, repeating what you say, the one thing I would add to it that no matter what his reasons were for doing this, you said he's a troll. Is he jealous because he tried to buy the Buffalo Bills in 2011 and back in the 80s he tried to get a team that they would not let him in, and he maybe he's saying NFL owners he's going to be like a little baby acting, well, you wouldn't let me in your league, I'm going to try and do whatever I can to destroy the league. But whatever it is, whatever his plans were, I think that obviously they backfired. All he did was unite people. And it wasn't just sports. It wasn't just the NFL. It was all sports. The first baseball player took a knee during his anthem. The basketball players, you see what LeBron James and Steph Curry are saying now. The conversation, like I just go back, I don't know what you were trying to do, but you just united up the whole sports world and the people that watch the sports, the great influence that athletes have in this country over the kids and the adolescents, even the 60-year-old guy sitting on his couch.
Tony, I hear you. I hear you, but
you've got everybody talking about this.
There
now.
are people
It's just killing him.
In the stands are yelling at the players to stand up. I listened to a lot of talk radio today specifically just to hear what people were calling in and saying, and I heard hardcore football people, not crotchety old men, but people in their prime say, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I don't like this kneeling and this protesting. I view sports as an escape. I don't want to deal with MSNBC, Fox News, and CNN when I watch football.
Okay,
that is a problem for these leagues.
But you know what I always sense? A discomfort when Jackie Robinson, Tommy Smith, Curt Flood, black players don't align with your political beliefs or make you uncomfortable. That's what I always see. I've been told sports is dead 1,000 times. When a strong black voice, Jackie, Tommy, Curt, go look at the history of sports. When a strong black voice says, I want an opinion, guess who gets uncomfortable? I went on Twitter this weekend and did a little poking and just pushing. And man, it was racial coding everywhere. You can tell me Donald Trump said it's not about race. You can tell me it's not. A lot of this is fans who are uncomfortable with the athlete in America who is now compensated 1,000,000 times more than they are.
Colin.
There's a lot of jealousy and a lot of envy and a lot of discomfort with athletes having a voice.
Colin, just hold for a second, though. If you're going to go that big, there are a lot of people in America who have had their jobs stolen from them, who aren't living the lives, they're not living the American dream like they thought. Mm-hmm. And so when they do look out and see a group of millionaires that think they have it bad, they can't relate to that because their lives have been dramatically changed. We all here are comfortably in the 1%. And I'm just telling you, I deal with a lot of people that are not, and of all colors. And America doesn't feel the same to them. And whether we like it or not, Donald Trump speaks to them and for them. And we all sit up and say, oh, it's because athletes are making them uncomfortable. These are millionaires. Jackie Robinson and these guys, we're 40 years away from that. And so I just don't want to write everybody off as racist who are uncomfortable.
I'm not writing everybody.
No, and I'm not trying to say that either. But what I am saying, you look at this, what you saw yesterday, and we can't, you talk about that segment that have lost their jobs and everything and can't speak right now. There's also a segment that it's being abused, that their rights are being infringed upon, and that's what this started about. That's what Colin started about. And you had a group of people, that 1%, those owners, those billionaires, they basically, nothing else has gotten them out of their boots down with their players. But that comment, it got them down saying, you just basically said that it's okay to infringe. And if you're doing that, maybe these people that are somewhere where we don't see them and we don't relate to them, maybe they are being abused.
Okay, but I'm telling you how it's landing with middle America and working class America. They don't get to protest on their jobs, whatever jobs they have. Let's say it's McDonald's. Let's say it's UPS. Let's say it's Ford Motor Company. They can't come in and protest on their jobs because they will be fired. Hey, this isn't good for our customer base. You can't wear a Make America Great hat again in McDonald's and offend my customer base. You're fired. And so the players, and you seem to be arguing, well, in the NFL you can, and everybody's just got to deal with it. That doesn't land well with the average American. And again, I just think we all, on every side, need to listen and be respectful of the other. Even if we don't like them or agree with them, just understand, they're coming from a place where there's a side to their story, and we need to be open to that. And I just don't want to write them all off as racist because Donald Trump, again, I can go through a laundry list of everybody he's attacked. Everybody. White women, white men, President Obama, vicious attacks. And again, his comments here, not remotely surprising.
You don't know, but no, we're not, this isn't really, you said, the question is, what's the reaction to the response? Right. I understand people being uncomfortable, they respect the flag. The flag means a lot of things to a lot of people. I get that. But the idea that when you go into a stadium, that players have to have your opinion. I go to a stadium, they're drunks, vulgarity, fights, the game's never as good as I thought. You go to a stadium, there's no guarantees. Don't go to a stadium. No. Don't go to a stadium thinking you're going to get your opinion.
Colin, who goes to a stadium looking for an opinion? Have you ever go, hey, I'm coming to see Tony Gonzalez's opinion?
Yes, I have.
No, you go to a stadium to see him compete and play the game.
I go to a stadium and I go
but again, you're acting like no one's expecting opinions inside the stadium.
I go to stadiums with guys and we talk about the game for hours.
But we're also acting like this is going to be an ongoing thing, that this is going to be the new norm for the game. Like I said, the owners came out of the box because of that divisive comment. They came out. They're not going to be out every week. They're not going to come out of that booth every week to hold arms with their players.
Going on.
That's not going to happen. Worse, Tony?
No, I think it goes back just like everything else in America.
Yes.
It's like he's going to keep coming out and it's on to the next tweet or troll that he puts out there. But I do want to say this, that what you said, I hear what you're saying, Jason. And I agree with you. The thing that you said, we need to come to an acceptance that people are going to have different opinions, that there is the middle America guy who's probably going to be turned off about it. But also there is that person who's been subjugated to police brutality and racism. All these people are out there. That's America. It's a big place. It's a huge place, and everything happens. And people are going to be unsatisfied, and you're not always going to get what you want. You're not always going to get the answer that you want. But it's important that we listen to each other, and we can have conversations like this and grow from it. Because if anything, I think that's what happened this weekend.
I agree.
I'm hoping we have one more stretch for just one more opinion. I felt like on the field, there were a handful of teams that I thought were more affected by this than others. I thought the Raiders, Ravens, Steelers, Seahawks, and the Dolphins, who came out with I'm with Cap, if you were really heavy into the Trump thing, you had a poor performance on Sunday.
Well, I've said this, I said this last week, we got into this. 2 or 3 cultures in the NFL are very emotion-driven. Seattle with Pete Carroll. It's high-fiving, it's jumping up and down. You know, Belichick stoic, Andy Reid stoic, Jason Garrett no emotion. I thought the teams that tend to be more stoic in their preparation and the optics perform better. You know, Andy Reid, I think Dallas is fascinating, where you have an impulsive owner, but a low-key stoic coach and quarterback. There's Dez, there's Jerry, there's Dak, there's Jason. I'm interested in the Cowboys tonight. But I do think the chance you get as an owner, you can create your own culture. And like the Patriots tend to be kind of academic. I thought under Peyton Manning, Polian, it was kind of an academic. And I think sometimes the Ravens are talkative and dynamic, and their defenses have stars. And I did think